Good evening, my fellow travelers on Spaceship Earth. It is I, and I am Guy. I'm coming to you live from Applewood Station, where it is a lovely 17 degrees Celsius. It's a lovely temperature outside. Look how lovely the temperature is outside. Ooh, look at that. Hello, Brent. How are you doing out there, my friend? It's 17. That's not bad. Why is that light not on? That light fail. We've got problems with lights. My lights are starting to die. The ones that have been with me this entire time. They've lived a long, long life. Some of these lights, they've been doing their jobs for upwards of. Finishing up a movie is good. Good. They've lived these lives of upwards of. Some of them have been going for four plus years because they've been running since before COVID. Every day turning on, every night turning off. Automatically running and these are sort of first generation of these. The newer generation of these guys are much, much better and much more solid. And I think it's about time for me to replace the whole lot of them. I've got rails going up now here with lights that are probably going to make this a little bit easier and better to control. I'm going to have a control center up there on that main stage system right there, and then it'll be great because I'll be able to just get into that box and mess with everything that needs to be done. So I've got but I mean, after a while they get kind of cranky and they get weird. And that light behind me right here has not been turning off correctly. It's been sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And this one is kind of getting cranky as well and stuff. So it's getting time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 lights in here that are smart. And I think what I can do is just get a bulk unit of all of them and just replace the entire lot of them. And that might not be a bad idea. And then those guys will go for another 4 years. Or perhaps longer. Do you have a recommendation for smart bulbs that you think would work really well there, Brent? Since we're in sort of that mode and talking about it. Well, what do you think? Because I'm kind of doing the thought process here. I also am being joined by a individual.
Ha!
The individual is very small. It's a small individual. Let's make this individual not so small. There we go. The individual is now larger. Larger individual.
Yay!
Hang on, I'm going to switch to that.
How you doing?
I'm doing. Color. We're discussing the smart bulb replacements here. Probably should start replacing bulbs, and Brent and I are chatting about the idea of, because the bulbs here are kind of getting cranky. They're getting kind of not doing so well, sort of ish. I was gonna make some snarky comment about the pink arrows, like how they were the coolest part of that whole picture. But then I thought you'd take me seriously, so I was like, I don't want you to take me seriously because it's a gorgeous piece. But there was a moment of, those arrows are the best arrows I've ever seen. So
they are the best arrows. They are the best arrows because
I know, but next time, if you get some snarky response like that, please don't take it personally. Just know I'm in a mood.
Yeah. No, those are the best arrows ever because they're telling me where the shadows lay.
Right? There's nothing wrong with those arrows. There's certainly nothing wrong with those arrows. It's a beautiful piece too. I love this piece. I just wanted to. I was making I saw that and I just so badly wanted to say, I wanted to make some. Those pink arrows, the
Snark.
best pink arrows I've ever seen, and I don't know. But then I was like, I was really afraid you'd be like, that's the only thing you thought was good about this piece, and so I figured before I do that, I better warn you that every so often I get a wild hair, and I get obsessed with making jokes about pink arrows.
I know about your wild hair. That's why it's blue right now.
That's why it's blue. I'm just saying, my wild hair, it are blue. It is bluer than I wanted it to be. It looks kind of comedically blue. I was hoping it'd be darker blue, but that's okay.
If it got any more neon blue, man, I could probably see it from Firestone.
Yep. I mean, it's not bad. I'm about to go to Japan here at some point, and I don't want to freak the Japanese, especially my dojo.
You're gonna freak a lot of people. It's like, my God, it's come to life.
Oh, hey, I think that we're actually being joined by Brent. No, I'm not gonna let you in, Brent. There you go, Brent. Now you're in.
Well, fine then. I'm not turning it on the camera though, because I don't have it mounted anymore. And I don't want to do it for it.
It's all good. I didn't hear you beep in because we were beep booping in Can at the time.
Mm-hmm. It's Can's fault. That's all it is. We'll just put it that way. Right, Can?
Yep.
It's always his fault.
All right, so LED bulbs that work with Alexa, right?
Yeah, and good. Like, will survive.
Okay. I'm seeing if there's the ones I typically use. Send Glud, SENG LED. Those are ones I like personally. I haven't had issues other than what you mentioned before, where I've had to die, and that's because of where they were, and the power for it really sucked, and so it killed them.
Okay. So, what was the name of that again?
SENGLED. How many do you need?
8.
And you use Wi-Fi.
So SENG LED?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Right, here is, and yeah, your Wi-Fi there, so.
Yeah, well, I'm looking them up right now. So it looks like 4 for $25 or $24.
Yeah, they're not really bad.
No.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to the 4 colors that I know for a fact are good.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at these guys and they're multicolor.
Yep.
800 lumens is good.
I sent you via Discord.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'll put it in the private chat to you.
Yeah, I don't have Discord running right now. If that works.
That's fine. But you connect to the Wi-Fi.
It looks like the exact same page I'm on. Excellent. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the Wi-Fi ones personally, but I know that's what you use. So.
Yeah. It says 22 years based on 3 hours a day. I'm just saying. My bulbs do not run 3 hours a day. Well, you know what? And if it runs for 5 years, I'd be fine. You know, changing them all out every 5 years isn't going to kill me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, actually, I don't. These guys have lasted 4 years, and I don't feel bad about it. You know what I mean? Like, I've got to replace but I'm replacing one at a time, and I'm feeling like this isn't working like I want it to. You know?
Mm-hmm. See, I have some that I last ordered March of 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 years at this current place, and I haven't had an issue with them.
Yeah.
And they are Zigbee, which is a different type of communication protocol, like Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So, and I've had, well, one's in my master bedroom and one is in my living room, and they turn on all the time.
Yeah.
So, no issues with those.
You know, the thing is, in my office, I've got 8 of these guys all around.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, I'm changing them out by putting in rails now. I've got these U rails that I'm putting up here, where I'm going to be putting in. You know, I've got a rail of just individual little LED strips that'll ultimately be lighting up straight to the ceiling, which should give me a uniform upper glow. And then I've got 5 spotlights that I'm going to place all around the room.
Yeah.
So that's going to be good. So that'll work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's perfect. Then I will just go on ahead and save these to my.
And for the price, they're not that bad too. Like I said, I haven't had issues with them. They work with Alexa. They work with Google. They work with Home Assistant, the software I use. So
Yeah. Well,
and
that's important because right now my Home Assistant is Alexa.
Yeah. Your smart home is Alexa.
Yeah.
Or computer.
Yeah. It doesn't quite grasp it. I don't think it caught you. It doesn't matter. The red alert doesn't work anymore. Or it doesn't work right now.
Oh, okay.
Because I have to reprogram it.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
You can't trigger it to do that right now at the moment.
Computer, red alert.
Damn. It doesn't work.
And they do have some outdoor lights, and they have like spotlights. They have LED strips and all sorts of stuff. This is typically the company that I go to for my stuff, and they also have those recessed lighting ones. So overall, that's the brand I typically use and I like. And like I said, I've never had an issue with them.
How many of them have you run?
Oh, let's see. Currently, I have 2 I've had going on for 3 years since March, and 2 I have in my office, and those are just plain white ones, and they have been there since May, this past May, when I needed to replace the bulb in there. So
I was just wondering.
4 in total.
Part of the problem, of course, with these things is too many things on the Wi-Fi, you know.
Yeah.
And I've got 8 lights in here. You know.
Well, see, they think Alexa does work with Zigbee stuff. Here, let me go check that before you quote me on it. Because I think some of the Alexa hubs do have the Zigbee built into it. But, yep, actually it does. Because you do have a hub, or no, actually you don't have a hub. So typically, the communication protocol I like is one called Zigbee. It's an open source version of the communication, and it requires a hub for a lot of stuff. But honestly, it's like a little it was a $20 USB drive, and I have it plugged into the server that I run my Home Assistant on.
Fair.
I don't have issues with it that way. But yeah, yours will probably be different because you run straight Alexa.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I mean, I'm not opposed to modifying. That's what I'm doing right now.
Maybe that's something if I come out next May. My plan is to be out there next May. We could get you set up. That is, if you're still at that house or you're not in Japan at that time.
Yeah, I'll be in Japan in December through January.
Okay.
But either way, yeah, we should be fine. That'd be fine. We'll figure stuff out and we'll figure out how this all works and stuff.
But I could get you set up with Home Assistant too.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking at like things like the Smart Strip and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. They offer, like I said, they are on the lower cost side, as you can see, but they work with just about all of the smart home stuff out there I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And then, uh, well, yeah, Google, Alexa, Home Assistant, and a few of the other smart home devices, softwares. So, yeah,
That works. That works. That works. Thank you.
no problem.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the things.
How are you doing, Kayan? I haven't talked to you in a while.
I'm alive. It's been rough the last couple of
Yeah.
months. I think we've all had a rough last couple of months.
Yeah, that's true.
I've had a rough last 4 years since
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always get a kick out of it because right as they were like, no, you can't leave, then we're shutting everything down for 2 weeks, was right after the very last, I think it was Majesticon, the one that used to just be kind of, that would have a lot of people from NASA and that type of
Oh,
thing.
Malcon.
Yeah, Malcon. Yeah,
Yeah.
that closed down.
Yeah, it's funny too because I know we've been physically in the same place, but I don't remember you really that well until after you had moved away.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know we were in the same place. I know we were at the same cons and things like that. But I mean, first of all, the world of conventions is so chaotic anyway.
Yeah.
You know, being at a con, you literally have to be with me for hours for me to start remembering that you were there, you know?
Well, and see, the funny thing is, I can thank Lee, who is a mutual friend of one of your friends and my friends, Dustin,
Yep.
who kind of really got me into that group.
Yep.
So, and I always thank him whenever I see him because I've made really good friends out there, and now I'm here in Kansas.
Right? Which is all right. You still have some of us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're still here. We're not going anywhere. And legitimately, like I said, when you come out here in May, you and I will hang out and do all the stuff, and all will be
Mm-hmm.
good. Although, depending on when May, I might be chaos, so just be aware.
Well, I'm not sure if it'll be May or if it'll be Labor Day weekend. I know for a fact I will be out there for NDK next year.
Yeah, well, that's also chaos. So, you know. So, as long as you're there, as long as you're here a couple of days before or a couple of days after, we'll be fine.
I'm thinking of taking that whole week before off.
Oh, okay.
August,
Then
be
we
there for
can
Labor
hang.
Day, and then go back.
Yeah, because I'm all about hanging with you. I just during NDK, that's the problem I'm having right now is that people are like, "Hey, I'm at NDK," and I'm like, "That's great. I've got 3 panels, and I have to take the Japanese guests downstairs. There's nothing I can do."
I know what I say is you should actually table next year for NDK.
Except that I can't do all the work that I keep doing every year.
Yeah.
And I don't actually mind. This last year wasn't bad. All I did was hang out with Tendo Kazumi. I mean, really. That was, by the way, since right now, Kiddo and I are watching Ranma. We're going back over and watching Ranma. And every time Kazumi's on the screen, I'm like, I was just having lunch with her. Like, it's a really weird situation. But I can't knock that. That's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, I certainly don't want to trade that. That was neat, you know?
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know I don't know what I'm going to do about tabling. Because my world is changing, but I really think that my comic book still fits my new universe. You know what I mean? Being an anthropologist, I think that it still fits because I'm mostly my comic book is really kind of like Lord of the Rings, my comic book is really about building a universe and world building.
Yeah.
And exploring some of those questions about culture. You know,
how it can change and how it develops over time.
yeah. And I mean, like other things too, I've been thinking about. Like, I had an idea today, just pondering, and I was like, it's interesting because we've been talking in anthropology, we've been talking about immigration, which not just our immigration, just immigration in general,
Yeah,
tends
the
to have,
movement of people.
has a problem because when you have immigration, you end up with people from a different culture integrating into another culture, and there's always a clash of some sort, and people either gently integrate or they conflict, and when they do, there tends to be a lot of different interesting side effects to it. And I thought about that and I was like, for the most part, unity is homogenous, but not from the one culture that Chang is from, because her culture separated intentionally long time ago and was only recently reintegrated back into the culture, which makes them immigrants. And I'm like, I could almost talk about immigration a little bit through that vessel, and I thought that was kind of an interesting. It's the first time I've had a thought about something that's unique to Bellatrix Rising. Up until now, it's always been conversion of Tamerlane scripts over to Bellatrix Rising.
Yeah.
And this is the first one where I had something that's actually unique to Bellatrix Rising. So I thought that was kind of cool. So, yeah, but I'm not going to stop doing my comic at all. And
I like it.
thank you. And as I have been going through and learning a little bit about this, I realized that my home culture is being with you guys. You know what I mean? Like that's my culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I should not leave it. There's no leaving this culture. This is my hometown.
One of us.
One of us. One of us.
That's right. But it also means that it means that I'm not changing much, except that I'm just super busy right now, which is why I'm not getting any comics done or anything done right now, because like even right now I have to turn in a 200 to 300 word paper before midnight. It's not a big paper, and it's nothing. It's for my professor that he and I get along, and he and I get along really well. So he was my cultural anthropology teacher last semester, and now I've got him in 2 classes. So I've got to do 2 assignments for him tonight, but nothing major. As long as there's something in there that makes sense, he will give me a 100% on the grade. If it doesn't make sense, he gives me an 80%. That sort of thing. Unfortunately, if I turn it in tomorrow, he gives me an 80%. I don't want an 80%. I've got an A right now in that class. So don't want to. So at some point here when we're chatting, I'll start writing in on this thing. But he and I already talked about. So I'm doing applied anthropology. And that's, the first thing in applied anthropology is identifying a problem. Because anthropologists are used often in places like businesses. You'll bring an anthropologist in because the marketing department is inefficient and not doing their job correctly. And so you bring in an anthropologist because everybody knows exactly what the problem is, which is 72 different problems. So you bring in an anthropologist to actually find out what the real problem is. What's up there?
Is my voice louder?
I mean, it's a little.
A little louder?
Yeah.
Because I am actually hearing as I'm drawing on the pad.
Well, now you're a
I
little
can
farther
act-
away.
I can actually hear the pen scratching on the pad through the audio from the
Yeah,
string.
Yeah, you're on a
you've
microphone.
always been doing that.
Yeah, it's been doing that for a while, but I don't think that microphone on your headset is the one that's working.
No, it's not working.
I
Something
think that
else
you've
is
got the
stealing
microphone
it.
on your camera.
Yeah, Ken, you've always had that scratchy noise. Even when I'm watching, you've had the scratchy noise as you're drawing from
So
your
that
pen on your
means
screen.
the Wacom tablet is stealing the audio. That is
Well,
God
that's what I'm saying.
almighty.
Whatever camera we're looking at you from right now, I think is
Well,
where your
there's
audio is sourcing.
no, it's two different. So if it
Yeah,
was
but I'm
this
saying
camera, is it louder?
that's a little louder, but not enough to
Okay.
do what you're saying. You're right. That doesn't
What
sound.
about this
Wow,
camera?
wow, wow. That's very loud. Yeah, there you are.
Yeah.
Whatever that is, that's the
Okay.
source.
Okay, that's my Wacom tablet.
Oh, okay. So you're getting your audio from your tablet. Yes, that explains why we're hearing the scritchy noises.
Mhm. I've always noticed it whenever you're on Ken and drawing.
Yeah. Which is kind of interesting because my microphone is directly above my XP Pen tablet, but I also don't have any grip on my screen, so I like the glide of the pen. So I was gonna put down one of those screen covers that had tooth, and then I didn't, and now I'm kind of glad I didn't because I kind of like it better this way. But yeah, you're right. It's picking up on the Wacom tablet. That's funny.
Don't
That's
worry about it,
annoying.
Ken. It's part of the charm of your drawing.
Yeah.
I've always
But
noticed it. Hasn't ever bothered me.
isn't that one of the things with Mon Ben is the sound of the pen on the paper for all of the manga cuts, like the sound he loves hearing. Oh, please tell me you know what Mon Ben is.
No,
Guy,
Colton's
you should know. You should know Mon Ben.
I do, but I'm completely sidetracked by the G line, which is blowing its horn, which is completely messing with my world. Because RTD trains don't usually honk. So I'm like, what is it doing? Hey, Colton. See what I mean? The hell is the G line doing? Like, that sounds like somebody's in the way. Like,
they're coming up to stop. They're crossing the street, so it's a 2-1 blast.
it isn't.
Oh, it isn't?
No, that's why it's weird. I'm getting honk, 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 honk. Like,
Sounds like
he's
they're trying to catch someone's attention.
right. Exactly. That's what I mean. It sounds like it's not the classic train crossing horn, but even then, the G line doesn't do the classic train crossing horn. RTD trains don't classically do that, except out when they're out in the middle of Nowheresville.
Well, they should be doing a long, long, short, long, and that's Morse code for Q. That's the actual standard, is to use the Morse code for Q, because it means queen, to make way for the queen.
Right. But they don't, because they're in town. And so they're not supposed to be doing that because they're really close to residential areas.
Yeah.
And so that was part of the deal. And part of the problem was that the G line did weird stuff for a while there because they had a problem with the programming on the gates. And so because of that, they did have to honk the horn because the gate system wasn't working correctly. But that was honking like getting somebody's attention, like get out of the way or get off the track or something.
Yeah.
That was weird. And yeah, normally, because like there's another train, we've got a freight train system that's the other direction over here, and that freight train, he goes across a crossing and does the normal train crossing sound. I didn't know
Q.
it was Q though.
Morse code. Yeah. Morse code for Q.
I mean, now that you say that, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Don't ask me how I know that.
Well, no, but now you have added to my knowledge too, where somebody's someday going to say, what's this deal with the horn on the train? And I'll be like, well, it's Morse code for Q. Let's make way for the queen. And they'll be like, how do you know that? And I'm like, don't ask me, I don't know, because by then I'll forget where I got it from. It'll just be stored somewhere. How you doing, Colton? We're all just hanging. My hair is blue. Not like, anybody's really shocked or surprised.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah, nobody's shocked. It's all right. I like bright colors. My shirts are bright. My hair is bright. My future is bright. I've got to wear shades. So, yeah, I also have a paper to write, which rhymes with future being bright. Right? Just saying. Blue hair is cool.
Actually, Colton had blue hair, what, a year or two ago now?
Blue hair at 1.2, yeah. I was kind of hoping my hair would be blue, kind of like Colton's, because it was a darker shade. But it ended up being bright because my hair is gray, and there's nothing we can do about that. So, yeah, you have had many colors of hair, but yeah, my hair went blue, and right, exactly. Yours turned out much darker. I kind of liked it, and I wanted mine to be darker, but it just not in the cards, and that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I keep forgetting that my hair is gray. Therefore, when we dye it, it's always going to be a light shade of something, So. And so. Area. All right. I'm just, every time I think of something, I'm writing it into this paper. I am actually just putting it straight into Canvas. I'm not even, I'm just like opening this text box up and then writing it straight into Canvas, which is funny. So I think everybody uses Canvas. Colton, do you still use Canvas in your school too? I'm just noticing that everybody I know uses Canvas, it seems like. I guess not. Everybody but apparently Colton.
I don't use Canvas.
For school, like all your classes and everything like that, and your teachers communicating with you and you communicating with your teacher. And you can like post things to it, like papers and stuff like that. So it manages all of that.
Yeah, I haven't gone to school in 15 years.
Oh, your school has its own portal. It seems like Canvas is like this standard because CU Boulder does the same thing. They use Canvas as well. So, and it may just be the standard for the squadron of schools that are all at Auraria campus too, because MSU is at the same place as CU Denver, and so maybe that they just got it because CU Denver got it, because CU Denver got it, because CU Boulder got it. Who knows? So it may not be a. It just seems like everybody I've met out, in school has their, is using Canvas, but that's okay. Except for Colton. Colton's not. Could be a Colorado school thing. Who knows? Who knows?
Rick and the one IT guy that moved between different schools was like, I really like this one bit of software. We're going to use it everywhere.
Right. I did start using OneNote today, in the middle of class, no less. It was kind of funny.
Ugh, hate OneNote.
So, I was like, because, well, a buddy of mine is using a note-taking program, but she's using it on her Apple iPad, and I don't use Apple. So I was poking around, and I was like, oh, man, I kind of want to do something. And then I saw OneNote, and I was like, well, I mean, I guess that's a Microsoft product, and so at least it's connected to my Microsoft 365. It actually has become relatively useful. I used it during my applied anthropology class, and I could just screen cap effectively his slides, and it would read the slides for me and just put the text into the notepad. It was kind of cool. I was like, well, that's actually kind of neat. You just take a picture of the slide and it just OCRs the slide and then just puts the text in. I'm like, oh, I can quote your slide without having to actually do any work. I thought that was pretty nifty. Especially since last time I was in school, I was an art student. Everything had pictures and art, and we were doing color. And this time, I'm a scientist. Everything is text. There's just so much text. Between my two classes this week, I have almost 100 pages worth of reading to do. And so it's like, wow, what are you doing?
See, the thing about OneNote is, though, it's one of the few things I'm like, yeah, it's worth it at times, is you can actually set different tabs for different classes.
Yeah.
Within OneNote. So then that way you can kind of keep it organized for the future and down the road.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Is I've got a book, or whatever you want to call it, portfolio. What do you call those things?
Yeah,
folder, notebooks. I've got a notebook, and then inside the notebook, I've got all these tabs for everything. Like I've got my anthropology notebook, and inside it, I've got my anthropology classes. But then my personal notebook, I actually had loaded up OneNote back in 2018. And so when I loaded it up on my phone today in class, it started bringing up, have you accomplished all these tasks you were supposed to do in Tamerlan? And I was like, I don't know what to say to my notebook here, but so I retired Tamerlan. That was kind of, I just parked them in a different notebook.
Yeah.
But now I've got a Bellatrix Rising tab here. So that's good. The only problem is I want to change the color of the tabs. How do I change section color? Like that.
Yeah. In OneNote, yep.
Yeah. Which is good because I kind of want that to be an important thing. Hey, see, I can use all the colors. That's actually very useful. I can color code stuff. Geek Tank is already green. That makes sense. So, yeah, that's kind of cool. Huh. Interestingly, you cannot make the tab black.
because there's dark mode on that and it'll disappear.
Oh, that's fair. I guess that makes sense. Fine. I accept it this time. Oh, yeah. It's still saying that I need to prep all these things for the black card game. Oof. From 2019. Interesting. Yep. I'm actually just like, because of course OneNote's remembered all this stuff all these years. So I'm like looking at all this stuff going, well, I remember what I was supposed to be doing 5 years ago. I think the most interesting thing is the last time I was in here was September 11th, 2019, which means I literally loaded up OneNote for the first time in literally 5 years and 6 days later. That cracks me up. Like, well, that's a thing. But it synchronizes with my phone. And it was actually kind of, I don't know, I'm having this weird get off my lawn moment with school. Like the fact that I can just pretty much go to a class and just take my phone with me is so weird. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need a textbook. I don't need, because all my textbooks are PDFs and they're all loaded on my phone. You know what I mean? Like, it's so weird. That's such a strange sensation. As a kid of the 80s, I'm sitting here going, gosh, I should have a backpack full of crap. It has to go with me everywhere. And really all I need to do is just wander into these classes with phones. And there are kids in the class with me who just have their phone. And they're taking extensive notes. They're just taking them on their phone. You know? They're doing
Yeah,
the job.
I'd be the old man that's walking in with my notebook taking notes by
Yeah,
hand, and everybody's looking at me like I've gone insane.
that's me. I've got this beautiful notebook that I'm writing in. I have multiple colors and everything. I felt vindicated this morning because we were in advanced ethnographic research class, and he was talking about taking field notes. And he was like, you know, make sure you have the ability to use different colors to organize different sections. And I was like, I'm vindicated. Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
take a look at that.
Yep. Same thing. Advanced ethnographic research.
I've been doing different notes and drawings and things like that. So,
Yep.
and this has all been since June. I started doing this, and honestly, now it's getting to the point where it's such an important thing to have this notebook with me at all times. that I feel kind of lost when I don't have it. As strange as that sounds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, this panel is gonna murder me, but God, it's
But
gonna
it's
look
so
so
pretty.
good.
Yeah, it looks so lovely. And I like the way you're doing that shadowing. Excuse me. I sneezed. I know you didn't notice.
Bless you.
Thank you. I mean, do like I do with my kids in class. Godzilla. And they look at me and I'm like, it's non-denominational. I enjoy being a teacher. I enjoy messing with kids. I'm just saying. I derive a certain amount of pleasure out of tad jokes and things like that, and having them roll their eyes and go, "Oh God, why is he doing this to me?" There's a certain amount of entertainment to that.
It's made of mahogany.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to get my security camera to work again.
Hey, Panda.
Hello,
Joined us
Panda.
again. It's good to see you as well. I'm doing well. Can is drawing shadows, which, may or may not induce insanity. We're not sure.
That
We
would
also have Brent on here in voice, but his camera doesn't work. So there's 3 of us actually on right now. You just can't see Can. He's the Brent. He's the ghostly voice.
The Ghost of Christmas Past.
The ghost of Christmas Past voice.
I mean, you make it sound like at some point I did have a mind,
That's true.
but
the truth
I'm
is,
thinking it's been gone for a while now.
you're an artist. There's not much we can do for you anymore.
Yeah.
You're a lost cause. So. So how you doing tonight, Panda? I'm going to crank up some tunes, by the way.
Yeah, that's what we're missing.
We're missing tunes. Let's bring in some tunes. Yeah, I was just realizing we got the rhythm of the pen going here. The rhythm of the pen's gonna get you. The rhythm of the pen's gonna get you.
Jeez, is it bad that I know that song?
So, Mon Ben, one of the things he enjoys is the sound that the pen makes on the paper. That scratching noise. And for some artists, their pen doesn't make any noise on the paper. And that actually drives him more insane than anything else. Because the host of Monben is also a mangaka. Do something. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I have to admit, Panda's realizing duck pond, quack, gotcha. Yeah. I have to admit, it is actually kind of nice to hear the pen, even though we're making statements about it. I do like the sound of it. It's production. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
the sound of art being made. So I can't actually complain. I mean, I can, but it wouldn't be pointful.
Well, I'm going to drop out. I'm still going to watch, but
Right, but you're getting
gonna-
to where you're getting to the end of your awake period.
yeah, I've already popped my student fed for the night, so I'm going to probably pass out pretty quickly.
Yeah. Well, then, good night, my friend. I will
Good
see.
night.
Thank you for helping me with the
Good
lights.
night.
No problem. Night, Can. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. such a happy sound.
What?
Don't you hear the music where it's like
Oh,
do 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 do? It's like someone's cell phone is going off.
that's pretty funny. It does kind of have a beboppy sound to it, doesn't it? All right. I am still here. I'm just over here on my printer or my scanner.
And that is when Guy abandoned us.
And then Guy abandoned everybody. He doesn't even love anybody anymore.
He's too good with his head in Japan.
You'd think he would not have deserted us.
The betrayal is almost for too much for Kayan. Yeah, it's funny. We were talking the other day about
It's what?
You know, we were talking the other day about how you shouldn't have scratchy line art.
Right.
And yet I love the feel that it gives.
Yeah, but I also feel like there's a difference, and that
Yeah.
is like some art. I mean, there's obvious technique, and then there's people who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say that. You shouldn't have
Yeah.
people who don't know what they're doing. That you can't just say that. You gotta try to quantify it, because obviously what you're doing looks beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that.
But it's also taken me a long time to hone it to do this. Like in this wall, you'll look at it and go, wow, look how scratchy and nasty that is, and refined.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I pass through all my refinements, suddenly that scratchiness becomes part of the artwork, and then suddenly it becomes like this refined beauty.
Sure, and that's the thing, is like, it's not about scratchiness. It's about it's about
I'm rendering out detail, is what I'm doing. And in some cases, that detail, I need the scratchy line work to be able to do.
Yeah, but like I was saying, it's not the scratchiness that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's refined work.
Yeah, I would agree. What's up?
Oh, I was just chuckling at Panda's comment about finally realizing the duck pond being a quack theme.
Yes.
Because that was the whole point. The whole point was to come up with an acronym that spelled quack for reasons. There's like no rhyme or reason. I don't know what it was, but it was like you, me, and Pepper, and we're like, I don't know. We decided quack seemed like the right thing to do, and it makes zero sense. But we agreed on it, and I mean, like it's exactly like all the things that should be in our world. It was just this organic thing that just sort of formed. Anyway, I wasn't chuckling at Panda. I assume I was chuckling with Panda, as Panda made that realization and chuckled themselves, which I would assume had happened. It's interesting now, starting to kind of learn a little bit about how much we value histories and stories and information. You know, like it's some of it is, I mean, it'd be one of those things where it's like, I don't know why, this seems so important to me, but it is important to other people. Like being the historian for the convention, how many people come into the museum to look at all the history that we've got in our convention, and how that seems to be really important to people. And in the very beginning, I was kind of like, well, maybe a couple of people will find this fascinating. And it's actually like one of the draws of the convention. Lots of people come through the museum, And I find
Speaking
that
of which, I need to take a picture of my pass from number 3.
Yeah. Yeah, the ones that are hard to get are the ones that were purchased on site, because we've got all the original artwork for the ones that were pre-designed. But back in those days, it's actually still true today. If you show up on site, we weren't printing badges at that point in time on site. They were pre-printed. And so, especially back then, we had to send them off to the printer and have the printer do it and all this stuff.
Yeah, and mine's definitely a on-site one.
Yeah. Which is cool.
Because it has Nausicaa with her gun.
Right? Yeah, that's harder to get these days because it's just a difficult, not impossible, but certainly difficult sort of situation.
I'm wondering.
You're
Wow, this panel is
Brutal, but beautiful. It's brutal, but I'm loving every bit of it.
yeah, it is really coming together. It's becoming this very cinematic panel.
It is. This is Raiders of the Lost Ark feel going really sharply here.
Yeah.
I'm getting a very Raiders feel to this. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was talked to a couple buddies on Discord. I saw you pop up with for Quasar, and I'm like, well, I need to go gremlin this guy real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Are we sure that's not your cell phone going off?
I gotta turn that up. I gotta hear it. Hang on. It does, doesn't it? Right? It's all like super happy. Now, my cell phone is plugged in and silent. So, I mean, it could be.
Yeah. I've been watching a lot of artists draw,
Mm-hmm.
particularly when they show their process. And I realize I'm going about things in a very, very difficult difficult way compared to some of these artists. And yet,
Mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm.
love the feeling it gives. It's kind of that old school inking feel.
Mm-hmm.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's just very different.
I feel like this is bothering you.
No, it's not bothering me. Like, it's. How to describe it? It's like going back in time. And I love it more because of that. You know?
Mm-hmm. I just think your artwork looks kind of like the old dragon artwork from the dragon magazines and stuff like that. Sort
Well,
of that style.
and that's what I was kind of getting at.
Mm-hmm.
Was it's like going back in time and seeing a person traditionally ink when they don't have a computer that can go Control Z. You know?
Yeah. Ooh, doo, doo. I'm over here doing scanning.
Ooh. I'm just over here making the pretty pictures.
Yep. Doing the things. All right. More BB things. All right. I have one more of these to do, and then I can turn that in, and it'll be done too. Yay! Let me go get my book. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
Because we were just talking about notes, and here's my big orange notebook where I take notes.
Yay, big orange notebook.
Yep. But I need to look at my notes that I took for today's readings. I just love it when dogs start barking at me in my own house. I love that. Like,
Oh my god, there's a stranger. He's gonna kill us all, save us.
right?
When you absolutely need to positively need to stop an intruder in your next door neighbor's house hiding behind a refrigerator.
The only thing I think I might want to recommend for you is in a situation like this, you may want to consider a white outline around her.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Just
so we don't lose her in the picture.
Because that's what I did over here, is like I was starting to lose the flames.
Yeah.
So I put a very subtle, like, whiteness around the flames to make it look like light.
Right. I see you, cat. I don't know what you're after, but I see you going after something.
Is this a George thing?
This is a George thing. He has been recently pulling things off my desk and throwing them in the middle of the floor. And I'm trying to figure out what the story is. like why this is a thing. Like he knocked over my trash can. I don't know what he's after or why he's obsessed with something, but he's obsessed with something. What are you doing? See, now I gotta come over here.
He's being weird.
What are you doing?
He's George.
No, leave it alone. Leave this alone. Leave all of that alone. Why? I got these really cool microphones for recording ethnographic research. And they came with extra fluffy things to cover the microphone. And George is obsessed with it. He wants to chew on them and bite them and eat them. And I'm like, no, stop. Leave them alone. Okay, I'm going to go kill my cat. Leave it alone. I want you to leave it alone. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else.
But Daddy, unless I chew, I don't feel like a man.
Right? Unfortunately, somebody got captured because of this. How will I know I'm a whole cat unless I chew on things? I'm just not a complete animal unless there's something to chew on. Specifically squishy stuff and plastic. Because that's what I need in my system is squishy stuff and plastic. Squishy stuff and plastic. But he did end up getting, scritches out of this, so he can't complain too much. I mean, he can complain, he just can't complain a whole lot. I'm just hoping if I hold on to him long enough, his memory will erase and he'll forget what he was doing. And he'll go do something else, probably destructive, semi-destructive. He's a good cat. Despite being a pest, he's a good cat. You're a good pest. You know that? You're the best person I've ever met. You're my best friend.
The best a pest can get.
Okay, I'm going to put you down, but you retract your claws before I do. Otherwise, you will hurt me. Don't you hurt me.
Yeah, the Notebook. I was actually reading and seeing online that a lot of people are going back to notebooks because it acts as a memory save for them
Yeah,
over computers.
that's what I'm having a thought process on is for me, that's my thing is like I'm remembering it better because we're writing it down, we're putting it on paper. After I write it out, it ends up being sort of saved, you know.
Well, and that's what a lot of people are noticing
Yeah.
is that they can remember and recall things better after they wrote it down. So a lot of people now are switching back to using traditional notebooks because of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely agreed. That's definitely a phenomenon I am observing.
Well, and what's really weird with me is this is a diary. It's my day-to-day diary in which I have it bullet pointed out to a month, uh, a month view, a week view, and then I have my daily entries.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm noticing I'm getting a lot more productive. Um, I'm remembering things a lot easier.
Right.
And it's been kind of this weird aha moment.
Mm-hmm. That is kind of cool.
Wow.
That's nice to know. Apparently, I can actually disable the touchscreen on my Surface. That's useful. One of the most irritating things about my Surface is the touchscreen. It irritates me all the time. The touchscreen's on my Surface. Because all that happens when I draw, of course, is that the pen, I use the pen, and as soon as my hand comes up, immediately all the buttons get pushed by my palm. So I wear a glove for that, but then that means one extra step, which is making it so that I don't actually use my Surface very much, because it's like this 5-minute ritual to use my Surface. I can't just pull it out and write a note and save it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I gotta pull it out, then pull out my pen, then pull out my glove, put my glove on. Yeah. So it's making it more not user friendly. All right.
Save that. I think I'm going to call this good for this evening. I did a lot of work.
Too. We've been running for a long ass time, man. It's 11:07.
I mean, that's 2 hours on just this panel, and I still have
A long ways to go.
A little bit more to go on. But I love how it's coming out, though.
Yeah. I mean, no question. It is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. I won't complain.
Also, I don't know if you caught this little detail, because I've been pulled out from him. But she has holy symbols on her.
I didn't catch that detail, but that's cool.
Okay, she has the cross because she is a paladin.
Right.
On the skeleton, if you look very closely, he has the upside down cross.
Right.
He has the devil's cross.
Also,
and I love that feeling. Like, it's not overt, but it's one of those where once I'm done kind of filling in the shadows, you'll look at it and go, wow, that makes this even more impactful.
right. Agreed. I'm putting in my work desk over here because there's no place for me to put my notebook for me to to write notes down from.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't have any room for things. So I was like, I'm just gonna put this over here, and that's what I'm doing. And then it's whining about not being powered. So if you give me just a second here. Give it some juice. Now, how did they say they want me to do this again? Disable the touchscreen. Start taskbar. Settings. Okay. Devices. Settings menu. I feel like this isn't as easy as it looks. I'm doing the mm. Well,
Oh yeah.
oh yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just helping. Using like the power cord as a door over here. It's kind of funny. I don't know. I don't think I can disable this as easy as I wanted to.
Look at that.
Yeah. I'm loving it. That looks awesome. That is super dramatically cool.
I think that. I think I need to do right here. Kind of pull away some of that detail and let the light kind of. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That is definitely a beautiful piece.
Okay, well, I'm going to call this good here.
Yep.
And
I'm not opposed.
I am going to drop out and say good night.
Yeah, I actually think I'm going to roll the end credits. I don't even know if we've got Colton anymore. We may not. And I don't know if I think we lost Panda a while back too. They probably went to bed and went to sleep. However, I'm glad they joined us. I'm glad that we had, for a small amount of time, we even had like Brent here online with us. So that was pretty cool.
I know.
That was pretty cool. Like actually in the actual show. So, all right. Well, I am booting people and booting me and booting you. We're all going to bed.
Yes.
I'll see you all later. And thank you for joining me. And I'm glad I joined you. And that's a beautiful piece. And for everybody else, keep your eyes on the stars. Good night.
Bye.